Over the years, a lot of players have been known to run their mouths and say things they might have been better off keeping to themselves. But has any player ever backed up the things they've said quite like Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Not for our money. One of the game's great characters. Even if you're in the minority who aren't enamoured with his personality, you can't help but be impressed by what he's done on the pitch. Now with the great man turning 36, we thought we'd take a look back over his finest and most Zlatan moments, starting with one everyone in England will remember. His 30-yard miracle overhead kick versus England. When Joe Hart's botched header went up into the air 30 yards from goal, nobody could have predicted what Zlatan would do next. His overhead kick was so stunning that it even had travelling England fans applauding. One of his 4 goals that night, Zlatan claimed it wasn't the best goal he'd ever scored, despite it winning the FIFA Puskás Award for 2013. Remember the time he showed his romantic side? He claimed his ex-girlfriend didn't need an engagement present because she already has Zlatan. He then later gave his wife a picture of himself for Christmas. He's always liked celebrating titles in style. Following Juve's 2005 Serie A win, Zlatan did something we're all guilty of in our younger days: overdoing it. It was the fault of David Trezeguet, who made me do one drink of vodka after another. I slept in the bathtub. Now I hold my vodka much better. Though 6 years older and wiser in 2011, he celebrated in a more mature fashion. When AC Milan drew 0-0 with Roma to secure the Serie A title, Zlatan went full Zlatan. While teammate Antonio Cassano was being interviewed, the big Swede decided to kick him in the head on live TV, obviously.
Ibrahimovic became the home and the identity for that team. And in his first season, he actually took us to win it under Allegri.
Referring to himself as a god in an interview, it could only be Ibrahimovic. Ahead of the 2014 World Cup qualifier against Portugal, Zlatan took his self-belief to another level, saying that only God knew who would go through. When a reporter pointed out that it was difficult to ask God about football predictions, Zlatan replied, "You're talking to him." Claiming he retired Denmark in Euro 2016 qualifying was fantastic. Obviously, he saved one of his best lines for Sweden's arch-rivals Denmark. Speaking after their European qualifier victory, he said, "There was the thought that this would send me into retirement. I sent their entire country into retirement." Who could forget the time he said a World Cup without him wasn't worth watching? He's never been afraid to confront some of the game's biggest names. When approached by Arsenal, Ibrahimovic made it clear that he wasn't one for half measures. Arsene Wenger asked me to have a trial with Arsenal when I was 17. I turned it down. Zlatan doesn't do auditions. And he notoriously had no time for Pep Guardiola, who he had a fractious at best relationship with, once saying Guardiola started his philosopher thing. I was barely listening. Why would I? It was advanced bullshit. High-profile players aren't safe either, and it's fair to say he didn't like being accused of causing then Ajax captain Rafael van der Vaart's training ground injury. I didn't injure you on purpose, and you know that. If you accuse me again, I'll break both your legs, and that time it will be on purpose. Throwing the ball in the face of the Faroe Islands keeper was wrong, but so right. What do you do when you feel the opposition are getting in the ref's ear too much? Have a quiet word with him, or go with a no-look ball throw into the keeper's face? In Zlatan's case, the latter. Giving the media a hard time is also something Zlatan excels in. Do you know football better than me? So why are you talking? Are you a journalist or a camera guy? A journalist? So why are you holding the camera? And only he could dismiss an entire league's worth of players. I don't know a lot about French players, but for sure they know who I am. What about the times he reminded fans what they'd be missing without him? After leaving Inter, he left with a mixed message saying, "It's been nice. You won't win anything without me." And on leaving the Parc des Princes, he modestly stated, "I came like a king, left like a legend."
There's definitely a big, good, positive thing about for Zlatan to have been at PSG, because he was the number one star. He performed very, very permanently and very regularly.
He's always succeeded at turning adversaries into admirers. In a very inspirational Tumblr-style Instagram post, Ibra appealed for new haters as the old ones became his fans. And when asked about life in Manchester, he cheerily responded, "When I see City fans, or when they see me, they turn into United fans." But behind it all is an intense desire to win. After a trophyless season with Milan in 2012, he didn't hold back. "I'm not used to winning nothing. It's the first time it's happened to me. I'm disappointed. It's a failure." Loved by the fans pretty much everywhere he's gone, with an untouchable personal medal collection, a whole host of individual honours to match, and, most importantly, having done it in England, it's clear that Zlatan has had an incredible career. Rupturing a cruciate ligament at age 35 would mean retirement for most footballers, but not Ibrahimovic. He's vowed to return stronger than ever, and you'd be a brave person to bet against it happening. Here's to you, Zlatan. never change.